Awesome, we're live. Howdy. So today, more pens, right? More slimline pens. So let's get started. And without further ado, safety up. We got to hit our safety glasses, get those guys on. Where did I put them? Where did I put my safety glasses? They've got to be around here somewhere. Where did I put my safety glasses? These aren't the ones I want, but they'll work. Okay. There we go. Oh, these ones have paint all over them. That's all right. We'll make it work. All right, so first things first, we'll set up our mandrel. Put you into a new scene so you can see what's going on. There we go. All right, so here's this pen mandrel. Stick that guy in there. We'll get our bushing set. And we'll decide which wood we want to use first today. I got a whole setup here. Let's see. So this is some sort of timber that I bought at the store. Already set up, ready to go. I've never used it before, so I think we'll just slap it on and see what it looks like. So we're going to do this type of wood first, whatever it is, some sort of special stuff. Let me see if I can't spread these out a little bit by using these extra bushings. That's not what I want to do. Center is going to have to stay close to each other. There we go. Dang. There we go. Trying to get this, give that a little bit of room so that I don't hit this metal part with my tool and jack up my tool. There we go, that looks better. Put our stop nut guy on here, tighten it up, bring in that live center. Just like so, easy peasy. Give it a little twist, tighten that guy. Turn her on and see how much, or how well it's looking. It's actually looking pretty good. Not too much wobble. Let me check the pulleys to make sure we're at the right speed. And we are. And now it's time to get a turn. Alright, so we'll grab the gouge and we'll grab the scraper slash chisel. And we'll grab this other scraper. I think these three will do. And we'll start on the right one here. So we'll get the right one down. All right, nice and round. We'll work on the next one. And our tool rest has come loose. That's no good. There we go. All right, both of these are at round. Looking pretty good. That one looks pretty nice, has some good definition to it. This one, same thing. Has some nice grain patterns. Not too bad looking. So we'll continue on with this with the gouge, and we'll bring this down to a more feasible size, more of a pen size, you know, since that's what we're making. Hey, OG Daddy, what's going on? You know what? I don't know what kind of wood this is because I purchased it from the store already marked, or it was marked in a big like sale bin, and it was just hardwoods. It just said pen blanks, and I thought, well, you know, I might as well get something a little bit different than what I have been doing. And so this is what came out of there. It was a very grain, it's like a light wood with a darker grain. So I think it'll come out pretty nice. It's specifically sold as a pen blank, so it's probably going to be one of the exceptional looking ones, hopefully. Alright, so we're going to leave that one alone now. That one's small enough, and we can get in there with a finer tool. And we'll get this one on the left-hand side now down to roughly the same size. I do sharpen these. Actually, just recently, not too long ago, I just bought this sharpening system. You kind of see on the top right corner here. You see it better now. This sharpening system right here, it's called a WorkSharp WS3000. And if I put this here in the middle, get you a better shot of it. There we go. I'm working on getting some more jigs to make precise sharpens, or to sharpen precisely. I'm working on, there's some jigs I can attach to this bar here. But pretty much you just start her up. Actually, it's on this side. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Spins like so. And this is already pretty sharp, so I can go ahead and hone it a little bit more. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. So it just spins, and then you just kind of, right now I have to do it by hand so it's not precise. You just run it like this. And that's the honing stone, or the honing plate. Gives it a brand new a nice hone, and it gives it a nice shiny finish just like that. Makes it pretty sharp. I don't have something to pull the burrs off, so I just kind of use my finger, which I know isn't the best way to do it, but usually you want a piece of leather to go in there. I don't have a piece of leather, but that's okay. But yeah, that's how I do it. Use this guy. This has a bunch of different grits that you can put on here. It's a glass plate that just has so you can see it's just a glass plate, and it has different grits on it depending on how far down you need to go. If you're resharpening a very dull tool, of course you would start at a very high grit, which I have another plate over there with a very high grit, and then this is just for honing, like so something that's already, of course, sharpened. You just throw the honing plate on there and hone it back in before you start working, and it should be ready for you to go. I was having an issue before my very first stream where these were dull after 1 or 2 rounds with them, and it was just tearing the wood up, just tearing it up. So it's a little expensive. It's actually significantly cheaper than the Tormek, which is what most people use, which looks like a grinder, but it's a wet wheel. It's significantly less expensive than a Tormek, but it gets the job done. It's pretty nice. And then this guy, they don't make anymore. I had to find this in some random website, this bar. And then I can use the Tormek jigs, which there's a jig that'll go on here, and it'll guide it to a perfect hone. So since this is all jacked up right now, there's all sorts of different bevels on it. I'll just restart when I get those jigs. The jigs are a little expensive, so I gotta buy them I can't buy them all at once. So. But hand doing it right now is working just fine. It's night and day compared to dull tools. And like they say, dull tools, not only are they a pain in the butt to work with, but they make the work more fun. But more importantly, and most importantly, they make the work safe. There's nothing more dangerous than a dull tool. So I think it's a wise investment, well worth it. I just raised this up too high. Okay. By the way, the calipers came in. Thank you. Yeah, they are nice. They are very nice calipers. Thanks. Alright, that needs to be brought down a little bit more. I think we'll get in there with the scraper. Hopefully this isn't too loud. This is actually a chisel, a skew chisel. I've been using it wrong. But I mean, as some people would say, if it's not dangerous and if it gets it done and it doesn't destroy your tool, you know what? Maybe you're not using it wrong. And I know plenty of other streamers and other YouTubers who use this as a scraper the way I am. You're supposed to use it as a chisel. Actually chisel away at stuff like this instead of like this. But it also works as a scraper. Unfortunately, as it does its scraping, it kind of makes an obnoxious sound on occasion. Looks like we'll be lucky today and not have to deal with that. Just a little bit more off the left and just a hair off the right side of this. Tiny bit more. Oh yeah, it's not making the sound now, but I'm glad it's not too loud. On occasion it'll start making a squeaky sound, and that's when it gets obnoxious. Teensy bit more. That's pretty close. So we'll slow it down, take a look at it. It's not too bad. It's going to need some sanding, of course. Not too bad looking. I like the grain. I don't know if you can really see the grain coming out of that. There you go. That's a little bit better, but it has a pretty nice grain. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll bring the sides or the ends to, or we'll bevel the ends, excuse me, to the bushings. And then we'll start finishing it. What's up, Spark? What's going on? Good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good day at work today. Fixing trucks. Fixing trucks. Alright, that's pretty close. Come on, focus for me. You can do it. You can do it. Might be focusing a little bit. It's a little bright, but you can see the grain there. It's not looking too bad. I think it's ready for some sanding. Okay. So the use, we'll start with the 220. Actually, I think I threw away all my little straps. Yeah, it was probably time to start over anyway. So 220, here we go. Works like good and evil, yeah. That's a little wide. It likes 540. That's good because my computer here likes 542. It's not a huge fan of going any higher than 540. I'm glad the stream's working out pretty good. I'm actually restreaming to, or dual streaming to YouTube also. How do people etch words into wood after? A lot of people right now, from what I've seen on the Facebook groups, a lot of people right now are using a little cheapy laser. They're like 5x5 laser engravers. They're like $50, but the problem with them is that you purchase it, comes from some factory in China, and if it doesn't work, you're screwed. I guess you could return it via Amazon, but if you've had it for a little while and it breaks, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no support. I almost bought one. I mean, really, $50? $50 isn't too bad. It would suck if it didn't work when it got here, which I've heard of that happening before, but it's just random off-brand stuff. But, you know, they're really filling a part of the market that needs to be filled because all the other ones, all the name brand stuff is so expensive. It's just ridiculous how expensive it is. Okay, that was 220. Let's hit it with 320. We need a new one. I think I already have one cut for that. Yep. Try that when you're working. What's that? Restreaming? Are you streaming from work? Are you doing the thing you said you were going to do, fixing trucks and stuff? That'd be cool. I need to add you to my notifications because I don't have that. What are you doing? What does that do? I don't have any YouTube commands set up. I've kind of neglected the YouTube side, to be honest with you. I just kind of set up the restream and just kind of stopped there. Okay, let's see how this looks. Let's wipe it off real quick. Ooh, that's pretty. You guys see that? I like that. I like this a lot. This looks really nice. It's really light. I'm sorry about that. Oh, there we go. There you get a good lighting. Yeah, I like that a lot. What channel on YouTube for Restream? JWWICT is the channel name. I haven't even checked to see if it's working. I hope it's working. Obviously, Twitch is working. It should have the same welcome sign that my offline screen has for Twitch. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. I moved my trash can. I did a little rearranging. I moved my trash can around a little bit. I got lost. Ooh, almost sent my level flying. Or my square flying. That would have sucked. Yeah, that looks real good. This looks real good. It's still a little bit grainy. Like I can feel some voids in the grain. So I'm going to hit it with a little bit more 320 to try to get rid of that. What I'm also going to do, clean that off, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of water. And what the water is going to do is it's going to raise the grain on the fibers that we just severed. And then we'll be able to sand those back down. Give it a little bit smooth. Although it doesn't really matter, especially if we're going to do a CA finish on this, which I'm probably going to do. That CA acts as a barrier, so you wouldn't be able to feel anything anyway. But let's see if that brought out the grain anymore. It's a little dirty. It needs to be cleaned up a bit, but once it dries off, we'll clean it up. But it looks pretty good. It looks kind of cool. Hey, AeroSeeker, what's up? Yeah, awesome. I'm getting that through YouTube. Hello. Okay, so we're going to let this dry a little bit so we can sand it down a little bit more. I might actually hit it with 220 again because these crevices here are a little deep. It's already drying. All right. Getting better. Needs a little bit more still. Does it look better? Good, I'm glad. I'm glad it looks better on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I think the YouTube community is going to be better for me. We'll see. Twitch is known for streaming video games, not for streaming stuff like this. So I think a lot of creative people and you know, people who already have who aren't already established. I don't know. I just don't think Twitch is really the market I need to be in. I think I need to be more in the YouTube market. Everybody knows what YouTube is. Very few people know what Twitch is, unless, you know, they're maybe into video games or something. So I'm glad YouTube works better and looks better. I wish both of them looked good, but, you know, c'est la vie. All right, this is feeling better, so I'm going to hit it with the 320. All right. That feels better. There's still some crevices here that are going to fill with gunk, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Going left to right just to make sure we get rid of any swirl marks we made, since we do quite a bit of sanding while the lathe is on. It inevitably makes swirl marks. I want to get rid of those. How did that look? I've never heard of using used motor oil on wood before. That's interesting. All right, this feels pretty good. And I think it's time to take it off. Okay, and then we'll put our CA finish or CA bushings on here. And these bushings are just designed to not let the CA glue, or, you know, crazy glue is also what it's called, because that stuff's crazy sticky. It keeps the CA glue from sticking to the metal bushings that we were just using a moment ago. Oop. Not all the wood soaked it in, so it had a zebra effect. So like, you know, if it had a zebra effect like that, it was most likely certain grain in the wood, so the grain would soak it up more than whatever the not the grain part is. I don't know what that is. The not grain part? I don't know. That's what I call it, the not grain part. All right, so for this I have to slow down the lathe, slow it down to its slowest level, which starts down here, so that we don't fling glue all over the place. And for those of you who don't know, the last time I used, not the last time, but the first time I used CA glue, I learned the hard way that this stuff, I already knew that it stuck very well. However, I learned the hard way that it also burns the crap out of you in certain situations if it's being accelerated to dry. And I burned the crap out of my finger. I just had to sit there and let it do it because it got stuck. It stuck to my finger and then burned. So that wasn't fun. Got a big old blister on my finger. So you got to be really careful when you're using the CA glue in a high friction environment, I guess you could say. It likes to set up quickly and burn. So I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup real quick. Mind the noise. There we go. All right, so we're going to start our CA glue finish. Let's move that out of the way. I'm going to hit it with the little stuff, and then I'm actually going to try, or the thin stuff, And then a little bit of, let's see, this is medium. So that's going to give it a thicker coat quicker. I found that out a couple days ago, that if we start using medium CA glue instead of this real thin stuff, this is the thin, CA thin, we start using a little bit of the medium, we won't have to put as many coats of the thin on. This works very poorly. Okay. Slowest speed possible on the lathe, and we'll hit it with a thin CA first. That's going to pop out the color, get as much of the sawdust off of there as possible. And we'll hit it with a thin layer of the thin. Hit it with the accelerator so we don't have to wait. People stain their decks with used motor oil. Man, first barbecue's gonna suck. No, man, that's gonna suck. All right, this looks pretty good. So you can kind of see, actually you can definitely see the grain. I might sand this some more, to be honest with you. If you look closely, let me unhook this so you can see very closely. If you look closely, you see all those little rivets in there? All those little divots with dirt inside of it? Those are areas we couldn't get, or I couldn't get all of the sawdust out of. So I think I might try to sand this down again before we get too deep into the process of putting the finish on it. Because that's not very attractive. So let's see if we can't pull this CA off, which shouldn't be too hard since we only did one layer of the thin. Hopefully it fixes itself. I see I got some drop frames. Hopefully it stops dropping though. Thanks for letting me know. It seems to have stopped dropping frames, and the way it's dropping frames right now, it's acting as if it's my internet connection. Before it was my PC performance, but this is looking a little different. So I'll keep an eye on that though. Thanks for the heads up. Looking good over on the, so AeroSeeker says it's looking good over on the YouTube end. That's interesting. Hopefully, I mean, that sucks, but hopefully it's Twitch's issue and not mine, because I am sick of trying to fix this stuff. I don't like that it's not a good quality, but it wouldn't surprise me if Twitch gets more. I mean, I know for a fact they already give more attention to their partners than they do to just regular plebs like me. You're looking for the YouTube stream? If you're looking for the YouTube one, it's JWWICT, just like you see it up here, or just like my channel that you're watching right now. on YouTube. I don't have enough subscribers, unfortunately, to have a YouTube URL yet. As a matter of fact, what you're watching right now is the very first YouTube stream I've done. And you have to filter to show channels only to find it? Okay. What I should do is be smart and send a live notification to YouTube to Facebook. Oh well. Not sure if we're down off that CA yet, so put some water on it. Looks like we are. Some vaping folks? Oh man. Hey Arrowseeker, is there a I know you're on your phone, so I don't know if you can do it, but is there a temporary oops, whatchamacallit you can send out URL? I know it's not going to be the same for a long time, or it won't stay the same, but he also said you might have to filter it to only show channels, so that might help you, OG. I don't know if you did that or not, because it wouldn't surprise me if it's looking up video titles also. Oh, you did do that? Oh god, Nightbot's a pain in the butt. Oh god, Nightbot. There you go. That should do it. Hopefully. Okay, I don't know. I might have to come in and re-scrape this a little bit because I'm not getting rid of these. Well, you know what? Let's just be patient. Hit it with the stuff some more. Nightbot doesn't even do its job. I have it set up to give social media links, but it doesn't do it. Okay. Still there. Ugh. Bah humbug. I don't have any 120 grit sandpaper up here. That is a lie. I do, but it's cloth paper. Let's see. Or it's cloth, not paper. It's heavy stuff. Oh yay, it's starting to go away. Booyah, I just hope we're not sanding it down so much that we lose the shape and it doesn't look right on the pen. Well, I'm glad there's a possibility for you. Oh shoot, YouTube moderates too? Oh, it's not letting you link or put up links or what? I don't know if it's going to show me moderator actions without being in the channel. I need to learn more about YouTube. I really am too ignorant to that. I am pretty ignorant to that. Yeah, me either. No clue. I am curious to know what the problem is with Twitch, though. Because, man, I get nothing but issues, or I have nothing but issues with them. And now I have a middleman, so I have Restream. I can look at Restream's dashboard later, see what it says about drop frames, and then see what Twitch says about drop frames and compare. Last time I had 0 drop frames when I was doing the gaming channel. Oh, there we go. Look, Nightbot worked. I was doing restreaming on the gaming channel. I had 0 drop frames through Restream, but Twitch was dropping like crazy. Alright, looks like we're getting rid of most of these. Some of these are just not going to come out because these cracks are too close to the edges and I can't sand down the edges much more. See if I can clean it up with a little bit of water. Yeah, there's nobody in it yet. Alright, OG, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Anytime you stop by, I really appreciate it. So, you take care and have a great weekend. Yeah, I guess you don't follow. No, you do follow Instagram people, right? Yeah, that's right. Someone said that following was wrong. Okay, clean that up best as possible. Try drying it off a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lacquer as a first coat. That gloss lacquer as a first coat, kind of like as a way to clean it. waiting for this to dry. I might have to cut this stream short today, so we'll probably finish this pen and call it. There's the lacquer finish. Yeah, so you can see we still have some kind of dirty gunk in the grain, but we'll just have to deal with it. I can't sand it much more. We'll learn from this and make sure that we try not to scrape. Because what it was is we were using that chisel as a scraper, and it was actually ripping instead of cutting. So we're going to have to find a different way to do what we were doing to prevent that from happening. It doesn't happen in dark woods, only in light woods. You can't see it in dark woods. Hey, I didn't get a notification for some reason. I have a follow here from Saire, S-A-I-R-E. Thank you so much for that follow, my friend. I appreciate that, and welcome to the stream. Did the notification work and I just missed it? I only have an internal speaker on this computer, which is way down below here, so if it's turned down, I apologize. I should have called that out 19 minutes ago, but welcome to the stream. I appreciate that follow. I guess it's Saire. Forgive me if I'm butchering your name. Okay, so we'll start this. Could use a little bit more drying, but as soon as that's done drying, we'll start another layer of CA glue. Feels pretty good. So we'll put the CA glue right here. Ah, it's getting hot. There we go. Hit that with a little bit of activator. Give it one more thin layer, and then we'll give it a few thick layers or medium layers. Activator. Now we'll go ahead. I don't want that one. Hit it with the medium stuff. Oh yeah, you can see how that globs. See how that globs instead of soaking into. There we go. That doesn't soak in, that globs. I like it. I like it. It's going to put a nice thick layer on there. Whoa. Don't put it on me though. Hit that with the activator and give it a little bit of extra time because it's so thick. Although that seems to have worked just fine. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's actually smoke coming off of this because it's getting so hot. So we're getting a pretty glossy finish already, and this is without any polishing. Hit this with a little bit of 320 just to flatten out the high spots, which are inevitably going to be on here because we're using such a thick glue. So we just want to bring this down until it's all the same shade of white. There we go. Give that a little cleaning. Clean that up a little bit. Dry it off. And we will continue with thin. So notice now when we do the thin how it just soaks right into the towel. Very different viscosity. See it soaking right into the towel this time instead of pooling on top. That's what the thin does to you. Put that on real fast. Get it in all the cracks and crevices. Do one more layer of thin, and I forgot to do the activator. There we go. Ah! I touched it. Oh man, that would have sucked if I got my finger stuck to that. Alright, one more layer of thin. No smoke. I was trying to get some smoke. Moral of the story, gets hot. More activator. Bring it to a stop. Looks pretty good, looks pretty glassy. You can see it there, it's looking pretty glassy. So now, oh man, that motor is hot. Oh boy. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through our micro meshes. For those of you who don't know what micro mesh is, it's just a very fine sandpaper. We'll start with our yellow, which is the most abrasive of all the papers, yellow. Just give it a light yellow sanding. And this is wet, right? So we don't want to be doing this dry. This is wet. So that's just going to get rid of any of the major imperfections, and you can kind of just give it a feel. And if it feels flat and smooth, you don't need to do it anymore. Okay, yellow's done. Flip it over. Here we have green. And green is not quite as abrasive, but it's still one of those just kind of making it feel smooth more than look smooth type of abrasive. So if it feels smooth, feels good to you, we're ready to go. Okay, so we're going to drop down from there. Orange is next. Unfortunately, it fell off the back of this pad, but we could still use it. Grab that orange. And this is when we start to give a little bit of a polish to that finish. So the CA finish, in my head, this is what I think is more of an acrylic than it is of anything else. So I treat it like an acrylic. This is exactly what I would do with an acrylic pen. If you go on my Instagram or Facebook page, you can see the white acrylic pen that I just finished. I've also done a blue and an orange acrylic pen. This is what you do with the acrylic pens. You go through these micro meshes and you step down from the highest grit, or from the lowest grit rather, all the way up to the highest grit. And by the time you get to the highest grit, it's more of a polish than it is anything else. And it gives it a wet look. And if everything goes right, what you're going to see is nothing. You're not going to see a change in what you see now. So right now, the pen is wet. That's why it's so shiny, right? It's very wet. Okay, that water is giving it the reflection to make it look like that. Once I dry it off, what we want is we want that reflection to stay just like that, without water on it, of course. And that's what gives it the glassy look, and that's what people are looking for when they're looking at pens. And just looking for something that's professional. Now, some people like the wood feel, and if you like the wood feel, I would recommend maybe going through the micro meshes dry. Not everybody does that, but you could go through the micro meshes dry, or you could go through regular sandpaper dry, as high as you can go. And then hit it with lacquer finish like I had up here. Hit it with a couple of coats of this lacquer finish. This particular friction drying polish needs to be applied for about a minute or two. So you want your you want whatever you're using to apply it to actually feel hot to the touch, and that's going to give you the shine. It's not going to give you as good of a shine as what you're seeing here, but it'll give you a little bit of something. I have a couple pens on my Instagram page that have only a lacquer finish on it, and they don't look too bad. They're not as shiny, but they have more of a wood natural look to it, and some people are looking for that more natural look. I like it, but I also like this finish, and most people like this finish. Most people like the finish that is shiny. So this is the last micro mesh pad that we use. This is a very fine pad. You can't even tell there's any abrasive on it. And what this is doing is this is polishing that finish down to a glass-like look. So once we stop here and once we're done, I'm going to keep the lathe spinning, which this looks like it'll be pretty good. Keep the lathe spinning. I'm going to take a dry paper towel and I'm going to wipe this down and dry it off. If all goes well when we dry this off, okay, when we dry this, it should look exactly the same. And look at that, mission accomplished. Can't even tell that we dried it off, right? But that is totally dry. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Yeah. Alright. Looking good. Let me check my microphone here, make sure it's still on. Looking good, full battery. And there you go. Let's turn this off. It looks like we're done. This is a very nice finish here. Very nice glass looking finish on a piece of wood using CA glue or crazy glue, whatever you want to call it. Let's pull it off and get a closer look. So there you go. There's your finished pen right there. And that's how you get wood to look shiny or to look glassy, is put that CA finish on it. It looks really nice. Okay, so we'll go ahead and knock off the edges here. There's some CA glue on the edges. Pull this one off. Oh, that one's stuck. Hey, I bought these because you're not supposed to get stuck. There we go. That one looks pretty good. Nice glassy finish. Now, something I'm not a fan of are those black streaks that you see in there. That's because our scraper ended up chipping instead of doing scrape. We want it all to look like this. See how nice and pretty this is down here? So the scraper made chips and gunk got inside of that and we couldn't get it out. If I really worked at it, I might have been able to, but I'll probably put that one on Etsy for maybe a discounted price. You know, you never know. Maybe somebody will like that particular look. Who knows? Speaking of which, I have my first 4 pens up on Etsy for those of you who are interested in purchasing anything you see here. Just about everything I make from now on is going to be going up there, pen-wise. This weekend sometime, maybe, I'll have to get a hold of a buddy of mine, but this weekend we're going to be doing some specialty pens. We have a music themed pen and a fishing themed pen that we're going to be doing, one of which, the blank that we have is from an old whiskey barrel, an old Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel, oak barrel, so that's pretty cool. Put a little bit of history behind that one, and I think it'll make for a good gift, and the recipient of that pen I think will be very happy with it. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested in watching that happen, you're more than welcome to subscribe on YouTube and click the little bell button, or follow on Twitch and click the notification icon I believe they have on Twitch, and you will get a notification when I go live next. And hopefully you are available. Let's assemble this pen. So this is a light wood. It's pretty dark for a light wood, but it's still just a light wood. So I am more interested in matching that up with maybe, let's see what we have. We have different colors we can choose from. Here we have a gold color we can choose from. Another gold. Another gold. Here we have a gunmetal. I don't know if you can see that in there. That's a gunmetal. And then here we have another gunmetal. So we can either do gunmetal on this one or gold on this one. So this light wood with the light gold I think is going to look best personally. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and I'm going to do it right here so you guys can see what goes into assembling the pen. Oh man. And after this pen, worst comes to worst, I'll have to stop the stream for a little bit and make a phone call and come back. I might not be able to make it back, though, depending on what the outcome of that phone call is. We'll see. So right now I'm just removing all of the hardware that comes with the pen kit. They all come in their own little Ziploc bag, so it takes a minute to remove everything. Okay, so everything is removed. Here's the kit. This is going to be obviously where the pen writes from, so that's the point. Here we have a twist mechanism, so this is going to go into the pen and we'll be able to twist this, and this is what actually extends and retracts the ink, which is this, from in and out of the pen tip. This is going to be a centerpiece, which will make sense in a minute if you haven't seen a slimline pen yet. And then here we have the clip, okay, and then the clip plug. I'm not sure if that's really what it's called, but that's what I call it, is the clip plug. So first thing I'm going to do is grab my hammer, Thor's hammer, which is really just a parallel clamp. Set it right here. We're going to use this as a clamping mechanism to put our pieces together. So in this particular case, where did my pen pieces go? Over there. I have one fairly significantly thicker piece and a thinner piece here. Usually on pens, people want to see the thinner piece where the hand actually holds the pen, which is on the bottom. So we're going to add the point to the thinner piece on the pen. To do so, just set it up. Most important part of this step is to make sure this is lined up straight as you press it. If it is not, it will get kinked and it will damage your hardware, and that's definitely not something we want to do. So there we go. Our pen is inserted. Notice that the pen hardware and this bushing that we had on there are the exact same diameter, and that's why you turn your pen down to the size of that bushing. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add the twist mechanism to the opposite side of the lower half of the pen. And what we want to do is we want to take this ring that you see here to right there, right to the end of the pen. So this is the most important part. If you push the pen into, or if you push the mechanism too far into the pen, okay, you'll never be able to fully retract the pen back or the ink back in. If you don't put it out, or don't put it in far enough, your pen will never come out, and that's not good. Luckily we have that convenient ring, and it's very easy to get it just perfect. You can come on, focus. Hello. There we go. You can barely see that ring there. That's exactly where it needs to be. So now we can go ahead and add the ink to this. We'll set it in, give it a twist it in there, and give it a test right here. So we twist right. There's our pen. It could actually come out a little bit more, but that's acceptable, and it fully retracts. There we go. Actually, I'm going to take this out and put it in just a tad bit more, because that needs to go in just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so now it's coming out plenty. Fully retracting, fully extending. Pull that little piece off so you can actually see it. Fully extending, fully retracting. Looking good so far. So now we're going to focus our attention to the back side of the pen. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to add the pen plug and the pen clip to the back side of the pen here. So we just pick a side that we like. The good thing about slimline pens is all the sides are the same. Other pens have thicker sides and thinner sides, which dictates which side of the pen you actually put the hardware on. But in our case, they're all 7mm Makes it nice and easy to put these on. Again, you just want to make sure that everything's lined up well. Let the clamp do the work. Push it in just like so until it's flush. And there you go. Oh, this still has a little bit of plastic on it from the bag. There you go. You have your pen clip along with the pen plug. Okay, now it's the easy part. We take the last piece of hardware, which is this little ring. Take that ring and we slide it over the twist mechanism. Get in there. Get in there. Just like so. And we take this part. Just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made a pen. These make good gifts. A lot of people like them for, you know, congratulatory office gifts and stuff like that. Just because you said I'm not sure what that's called. Going from one end to the other, you got the nib. The nib. Transmission, decorative ring, clip, and cap. Okay. Well, thank you. Awesome. And welcome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm getting better with the finish, with the CA finishing. So, but thank you for that. Yeah, the pen doesn't look too bad. Pen doesn't look too bad, I don't think. I just got to work on a better way to clean it up, because you can obviously, or you might be able to see that in there. It's all nasty. That's from sawdust that got stuck in between the grain. But some people might like that. You never know. People like weird things. A washer? A spacer? What are we talking about? Are we talking about that thing in the middle there? What was it? Explain to us. That's a decorative ring, right? Decorative ring. Alright, so that is going to add to the collection. Now we have 5 total. That's the new one. Here's the 2 guys, and there's the 2 purple hat guys right there. Hey, you know what? But it's good to know what the actual name of it is. So I appreciate what you had to say there, Dodo Boy. Thank you so much. And Hella, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for showing up. I enjoy everybody being here today. Set this off to the side.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Hella, thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the basement. That's where I do all of my pen turning. A, I have the internet down here, and B, it's not 4 degrees outside in my garage. Or it's not 4 degrees down here like it is in the garage. Which actually, it's been a lot warmer today. It was the high was in the 50s today, so that's not that bad. However, last week I think our low was 2. That's a little much. Little much for this guy. Let me check my phone real quick, make sure I didn't get any messages. Okay, we have time to do.
Much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Awesome! Hey, look at that. It's like a follower train. Thank you so much to Doughboy. I appreciate that, and thank you for correcting me and letting me know, or maybe not correcting. Correcting's mean, right? I don't care. Whatever. Thank you so much for correcting me and giving us some insight on what we're doing in here. Dealing with the same issues in your garage? Yeah, it's freezing. It's freezing. I like doing stuff in the garage, but man, not when it's that cold. I also have chicken feed in the garage that the damn mice got in, and now I gotta clean that all up. Yeah, hella, it's cold. It is definitely cold. So we have 4 choices now. I have an oak, I have 2 oaks, or an oak blank, I have a walnut blank, I have purple heart, and I have, this is either hickory or hard maple. I think it's hickory. So what do you guys think? Can you see that? I think this, You know what? This actually might be the hard maple. Hard maple because it's not. It's pretty light. Here, you can check out that grain pattern. Maybe that'll give you an idea. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter because I'm not doing that. I don't have any walnut pens yet. Walnut slim lines at least. So we're going to be doing walnut. This walnut I got from a local guy. Local store rather. They do flooring and stuff like that, and so I buy this. How do I buy it? What am I trying to say? Rough cut. That's what I'm trying to say. Buy it rough cut. Okay, so throwing the mandrel in. There we go. 2 spacer bushings, just to get me away from the hardware there. Rough cut, yeah, that's what I was going for. Not an off cut. No, I pay full price for it, so it's just it's just rough cut. A lot. It's the only store that's not like a big box store, you know. I have everything. This is off center a little bit. That was badly drilled, but I have everything I need to do my own milling, not milling. But you know, I have a. I'm on the spot. I can't think of this stuff. But anyway. So I have a planer and I have a joiner. I can do my own stuff. I don't need to get it from the store at an up solar and a higher price. Anyways, before I make myself sound any dumber, where is the nut? Hello? I mean, I know the nut's on camera. Haha! But I need this one. There we go. That was a zinger, huh? Okay. So that one is off center quite a bit. That's the one we're going to do first. This one looks okay. That one is going to cause mandrel just to shake slightly, so we're going to do that first. Oh, 90-minute drives each way. Holy moly. Well, that's a shame. I'm complaining that I only have one. I mean, I could drive, you know, into maybe Kansas City or something. That's about 2 hours away, but still, geez, man. At least I have one close. It's only about half an hour away. Alright, so we're going to attack this left one first. I don't know if you can tell, but that one's not centered, not drilled down the center. So it's probably can't see it, but it's most likely wobbling the mandrel a little bit. So we're going to attack that one first and get it round. You can actually hear how off center it is. Oh, you know what? That's why it sounds weird, is I need to turn up the speed. That is finishing speed. And finishing speed is not acceptable. Okay, there we go. Should be going faster now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Burned down? The place burnt down. Jeez. That must have been an inferno. Yeah, no, I understand. And that's what sucks is that, you know, you go down there. I guess you can call, or I usually call. But I mean, the most exotic thing they have there, they have Padauk, which I'm going to pick up Padauk next time I get there because I really like the look of Padauk pens. I'm going to pick up Padauk, and I need more Purple Heart because I'm running out of Purple Heart. But they have all the normal stuff. They have hickory, oak, maple. You know, they have exotics there, and I never really looked at them because I wasn't interested at the time. I've only been there twice. Spent enough money to have been there a million times, but I have so much just sitting upstairs now. So much. I love the look of walnut, so I have like 3 or 4 slabs of walnut sitting upstairs that I need to do something with. Alright, we're round now. I can already tell the mandrel's more stable. You wish I had tools like that? Dude, these tools weren't very expensive. As a matter of fact, I got them on Amazon. 80 bucks, you get 2 skew chisels, 2 bowl gouges, 2 of these roughing gouges, obviously 2 different sizes, a parting tool, round scraper, like a triangle scraper, I guess, and last but not least, that's it. Actually, that's it. It's only 80 bucks. The big thing about this, though, is you need to have something to sharpen them with, because if they're not sharp, they're pieces of crap. Don't do what I did and obliterate a couple blanks trying to use a dull tool. But as a matter of fact, you know what I've been finding out, or I've been looking at a lot online lately? I like the more traditional tools like this. However, a lot of people are using carbide now. And carbide you don't have to sharpen, you just flip the thing around. A lot of them have squares, carbide squares. Once it gets dull, you just flip it to the next side, and now you have a brand new tool. And they last longer apparently, but they are expensive. They are way more expensive than these. What kind of turning do you do? Hella? Since you're looking at these tools, it sounds like you do some turning. What do you do? For those of you, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm speaking with 2 different chats, so don't think I'm ignoring you or I'm just talking to myself. Probably should have said something about that. I'm sorry, but soon I will integrate both the chats together on the screen as soon as I can. I just got to figure out how to do it. Alright, so both these pieces are round now. Looking pretty good. Not too bad at all. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get them even shorter or smaller in diameter. Get them closer to those bushings. Lower this rust a little bit. Excuse me if I don't read the chat for a moment. I'm not ignoring you. I just need to make sure I focus on the work and don't get my finger caught in here or something reading the chat. let me grab this guy. Make sure we got. Oh, that's actually a little small. I went a little too much with that one. Same there. That's okay. So we'll just call it right here. This is going to be a little bit smaller than the usual ones, but that's all right because each one has its own character. It's a happy accident. It's creative. What do they call it? Creative opportunities. It's a creative opportunity. See if we can't get that in there. Make sure it's not scraping. Pass your look. Oh, I missed something. Hang on. What was that? You're an A&P mechanic. Nice. Awesome, dude. I'm an electrician in the Air Force. Aircraft electrician. Which does not exist. You've probably never heard of that. But we're split up into 5 different groups, specialties. When it comes to composites and filing. Yeah, don't know anything about that. I'm on the A part, the airframe part. No, yeah, airframe part. So I'm like qualified. If I went out to the civilian world, I might be qualified on the airframe side, but not the power plant side. Yeah, it's the. Is that the exam? Do you need to do the sit down, the face to face with the guy still? Is that what you're doing next? So I'm hesitant to use the scraper again. I might try the round scraper. Or actually, you know what? I'll try them. Oh, did I see you get 2 bowl gouges? You only get 1. I thought I had one sitting out here. My mistake. I thought I said 1 too many. You only get 1 bowl gouge. Sorry about that. All of your colleagues wear vests? That's... Oh, we're vets. We're vets. I was like, wear vests. Okay. No, we're vets. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of guys like to get out and go the way of the civilian world. Here in Wichita, Kansas, we have... This needs to go down lower. A lot of airline industry here. Or not airline industry. We have a lot of... aircraft manufacturing industry here. So... A lot of people stick around here if they stay in the area, or if they decide to stay in the area. So right now I'm just using this bowl gouge to try to make an even, or a nice parallel cut, if you will. Well, that's good that they were down to earth and cool. They're probably not showing their mechanic side or their Air Force side yet. They can be pretty crappy. I don't know, that's not true. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there in the airline industry. In the aircraft industry, in my opinion. Or at least in the Air Force it is. But it's a good gig. And it's fun. I love airplanes. I love woodworking too, but I love airplanes. And I got training for free-ish. Okay, this looks pretty good, so now I'm just going to try to... I don't think I'm going to try to do a straight bevel. I'm just going to bring this into these bushings here. This is nice and sharp because you can't even hear it. There we go. So this is usually not what you use this tool as, but it's safe and it works. Although if they were older dudes you were talking about, like older vets, like they retired, those guys are usually pretty cool. It's the disgruntled younger guys that don't like doing work and they get all pissy about it and then they just complain and complain and complain. Ooh, I gotta be careful about that. I don't want to get my finger stuck between the rest and this. That's good. Start sanding. Late 30s, mid 40s, yeah, they probably retired then. The 20s guys obviously didn't. So we're going to start here with 220. Give it a nice sanding, nice light sanding, just getting all those imperfections out of the wood. Don't want to sand too much because we're already flirting with a pretty thin pen here. This looks a lot better since we didn't use that skew chisel as a scraper. There's no void or no tear out, very little tear out. At least I didn't see any, so there might be a little bit in there. All right, 220 looks good. Hit it with some 320. .320 looks pretty good. Left and right to get rid of any swirls that were created with the lathe action as we were sanding, because it's very easy to do that as quickly as it moves. It's very easy to grind swirls into the wood. So here we're just removing any of those swirls. So what I'm going to do next is grab my water. Oh, that brings us over. And just kind of rub some water on here to clean it up a little bit. And it gives us a little bit of a preview of what it's going to look like when it's finished. Not as glossy, but it'll give us a preview of what the grain's going to look like at least. And what we're doing here is we're raising the grain. Okay, so we're raising the grain right now. Once the severed grains, once they're done drying, they will raise and we can sand those down and then it will be perfectly smooth. But while it's still wet, let's take a look at what it's going to look like. And that looks beautiful. That looks awesome. It's a very nice grain. There's a nice little accent right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. You get a little accent right there from who knows what, but that's a natural accent. I'm happy with that. It's nothing that we did. But all these grains are going in the same direction. Looks pretty cool. There's a nice dark area right there that you might be able to see. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty snobby and would money splurge on fast cars and would complain about not having enough money to do everything. You know what? You hit that right on the head. You hit that nail right on the head. Pa-pow! That one's driven all the way. Thank you, Hella. I think it looks pretty nice myself. So we're just going to let this dry off. And what we're going to do is we're going to sand it just a tiny bit with a 320 actually, to get rid of those grains that I was telling you about, those raised grains. It's more important if you guys ever do any sort of woodworking with something that's going to get wet and is like a fine woodworking product. Cutting board is the first thing that comes to mind for me. A lot of people do cutting boards first. You need to make sure that when you're sanding your cutting board down, wet the cutting board, let it dry, and feel it. It's going to feel like a piece of leather. This sounds weird, but you're definitely going to feel those grains raise. And when those grains raise, you can sand them off and they won't come back again. Okay, so then you can get it as wet as you have to, especially a cutting board that is going to get wet. You know, people are going to wash the cutting board. You know, grandma's not going to be happy when it feels like a piece of leather is on her wall, on her cutting board, on her wood. That's what I tried to say. So you don't want that to happen. Okay, so that's going to get rid of those raised grains. This is looking pretty good. Now I'm going to use a lacquer finish. This lacquer finish is something you can get at PSI or Penn State Industries. It's a super gloss lacquer finish, friction drying polish. And what that means is we need to open it first off. Clean this up real quick. So not only do we need to obviously apply this, but we also need to hold it there until it gets hot, until there's a friction. You feel the friction. And what that'll do is that'll actually bring the gloss out. However, in our particular case, that doesn't really matter because we're going to be doing a CA finish on this, like you guys might have just seen a little bit ago. And that CA finish really brings that glass-like quality out of the wood. Actually, it's not bringing it out of the wood, it's just creating it. Glass-like quality. Shine. Shimmer. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use this lacquer finish, not as a finish per se right now, but I'm actually just going to kind of give it a swipe back and forth real quick and let you guys see what I did here. See how dirty that is? All I want to do right now, and this is just my personal thing that I do, it might not be the right way to do it, but I just like to remove as much of the dirt as I can with that finish instead of water. I feel like water will just kind of make it to where you have to maintain it again afterwards or do a little bit of sanding or something afterwards. I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head. Let that dry up real quick. It should dry pretty quickly. I'll get another towel started or ready. So here we have another towel with the finish on it. And we're going to apply this one. Doesn't take long for this to dry. Back and forth until we can feel heat coming from our towel. And you can see the more we apply, the shinier it gets. I know it's not focusing for you. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Now, the picture is much smaller on my screen too, so it might look better on yours. Hopefully it does. Okay, so I can feel the heat coming in. I'm not going to go as far as heating it up to unbearable temperatures because that's usually what I do if I'm just going to keep a wood finish. As a matter of fact, I would sand this even more if I was just going to keep a wood finish. Same thing on the left side. Okay, there we go. Give this right side a little bit of love again. Left side, right side, left side, right side. And that gives it more of a, it says it's a high gloss, but I mean, how high of a gloss can you get on a piece of wood? I don't know, probably pretty high. They polished a turd to get pretty shiny once. I saw that on YouTube somewhere. So, you can polish a turd. However, we're not going to do that. I'm going to let this dry. Okay, and while it's drying, I'm going to turn the lathe down to its slowest speed. I need to start at the bottom in order to do that. Unfortunately, my particular lathe, which is a Harbor Freight lathe, does not have a variable adjustment. You actually have to adjust the pulleys. There we go. So now this should be going slower. Yep, nice and slow. And the reason... Fitz, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Looks good, never tried turning pens. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. And pens, I can tell you right now, are pretty satisfying to turn. And that's because I'm going to make two right now in about an hour and a half. From a block of wood. Well, you don't see the prep part, but from a block of wood just like this here. So right now we're doing walnut, so a block of wood very similar to this, to a pen, half an hour, right? So you got to do a little bit of milling and drilling and stuff, and that's behind the scenes here. But once you get it down to where the tubes are installed in your pen, so that has a tube in it and it has been milled down to the tube, you can see the tube right there. Stick it on one of these mandrels and start turning, have some fun, see what kind of shapes you come up with. And you know, mistakes get made. I tried doing some maple. This is not maple. This is maple. No, it's not. It's walnut. Tried doing some walnut. The grain's going the wrong way. You can tell the difference between this particular piece of Purple Heart that has the grain going the way it should be going. I thought I'd give it a try and kind of quarter saw it, right? So the grain's not going the right way here. See how it's going across? I thought maybe it would create rings on the pen, and instead of creating rings on the pen, it exploded. So this is what I was hoping it would look like. This is the other side that I was trying to get it down to. That's what I was hoping to see. And you know what? If I really sharpen my tools, I might be able to get that down. But that'll be for another time. Okay, where are we at? We are at the part where we take this off and put our CA bushings on. So I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to take off this lock nut. Wow! Regular bushing down. Pull off these bushings here. Set all of these bushings off to the side. I'm going to take some CA bushings, which are just some plastic bushings that keep the CA glue from sticking for the most part. Add that on just like so. So what we're going to be doing right now is using a CA glue, otherwise known as crazy glue to most people. We're going to be applying a CA glue finish, and the CA glue finish is going to give it a glass-like quality, going to give the wood a glass-like quality. Let me take one of those extra bushings and put it here, and then we'll put our lock nut on. Doesn't need to be real tight. Bring the live center in, just like so. Tighten it down well. We'll move our tool rest out of the way, totally out of the way, so that there's no chance in getting hit by the tool rest. And we're ready to go. First things first, we're going to take the thin CA glue. Okay, I have thin CA glue right here, made by Stickfast. Thin CA glue is going to soak into the paper towel. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'll get a piece of this paper towel, fold it up. Okay, so here we have our paper towel. When we apply the CA glue, I'm actually going to fold this over one more time. When we apply the CA glue, you can see it soaks directly into the paper towel. Okay, apply that quickly. There we go. The CA glue gets very hot. Very hot. Okay, we're going to let that dry. As a matter of fact, we're going to activate it. Use this activator. So it should be nice and dry now. Sure is. We're going to do one more layer of the thin CA glue. So hit it right here with one more layer. Setting that up. Just a quick swipe, nothing crazy. No smoke. Sometimes I can see the smoke come off of it, and I try to raise it up for you guys to see it, just to let you know. Stuff's no joke. First time I used it, it stuck to me and burnt. Burnt my finger. Burnt my little fingertip. Can't see it anymore. Okay, hit this with the activator. Doesn't take much. Next we're going to be using a medium. So this is the same thing, however it's a medium CA glue. It's going to be a bit thicker, quite a bit thicker, and you'll be able to tell the difference here when we look on the when we apply it to the paper towel. Okay, so now we're going to apply the medium, and you can see the medium is going to pool and bead instead of soak into that paper towel. There you go. So now we'll go down here, same thing, a little bit slower just because it's going to be a lot thicker. Okay, a little bit slower. Add a little bit more. Hit the other side with it. There we go. Oh, shoot. And there we are. We're going to put 2 medium layers, making sure that we activate it between the 2 layers. Oh, smoke. Smoke. No? Dang it. Oh, yep, you see it? Watch out. You see this? I don't think you guys can see the smoke coming off this thing. It's hot. Smoke ain't no joke. That's what I always say. Even though I just made it up right now. Okay. We'll put this away. We're done with the medium. Hit it with our activator. This is just a stick fast activator for CA. This makes it so we don't have to wait a minute, minute and a half. Touch it. Kind of dangerous to touch it, but whatever. Alright, and right now, if you look closely, you can kind of see it's shiny, but there's little ridges in it. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Come on. There we go. Shiny, but some ridges in it. Fits. Do I turn pens or do I turn other stuff as well? I turn a couple other things. I'm not too good at it. I've turned a snowman that I was pretty proud of, but it's in the basement with me here and all the Christmas stuff. It's on my Instagram though, which is JWWICT. You can check that out. And then I just like when I'm bored and I'm on the stream, if I don't have any pen kits or whatever, I just turn dumb things. This is the first time I tried a CA finish, which came out okay. This was supposed to be a ring holder. This is where you can put, you just make it long and then people can put their rings on it as they, you know. Oh, you saw the smoke a little bit, Hella? Okay, cool. Anyway, you can put your rings on it. So you take your ring off and you set it on there while you're washing your dishes or whatever. However, that one broke. As you can tell, I was turning it and it broke. And then same thing happened here. That one broke too. I then soon learned that that I was just trying to turn it way too small, way too short. I was going to make this a pen holder where the pen's kind of stuck out the side. However, I made it way too steep. So that just turned into like this weird looking suggestive thing. And those just sit back here. The snowman's really the only thing I like that I made so far. I also turned something else. Oh, a couple of Christmas ornaments. Actually, that's what started this whole thing, is that I had a thing that I went to. It was just a little shindig that I went to with a friend of mine. They had a bunch of lathes. It was a class, and we made Christmas ornaments, and I thought it was awesome. I already did woodworking. It was my first time using a lathe. I had thought about using a lathe or trying to get one, but I just didn't want to teach myself. I went there and I had a lot of fun. I think a lathe work is awesome. It's a lot of fun. So, you know what? I stuck with it, and here we are. Haven't been doing it long. I've only had this lathe for about 2 months. But I've studied up a lot. I've decided that I want to share my experience with people online, and maybe get some ideas from people and just really see what the community's like. So. It's suggestive. I don't know if that's really what it is. We'll see. It's just going to sit there until it gets used as whatever it's used as. Won't be me who uses it for that, though. Yep, practice does make perfect. You're right. To be honest with you, I'm kind of stuck. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that I could do, but I'm kind of stuck until I get a chuck over here. One of the ones that kind of compress. I don't know what they're called because I haven't really looked into it yet. But one of the ones that kind of they don't require the live edge or the live center. If you guys are familiar with that, you might know what it's called, but it's just like a chuck that grabs, kind of like grabs things instead and lets you like kind of go into it instead of whatever. Oh, that one? Yeah, that one would be pretty easy to turn into a Christmas tree ornament. I don't know how well it would get on the live center. I guess it's got enough room to go back onto the live center. Actually, I think that's what I was thinking about doing. That's why I put these slits in it. I could probably make it a Christmas tree. I've made a couple of Christmas trees. Not a huge fan of them. It was just practice. All right, so we just sanded this down to get all those big imperfections out of them. So now we're going to head back to the thin CA glue. We're going to put 2 or 3 layers of that thin on. And then after we put those 2 or 3 layers of the thin, we'll go through a micro mesh sanding and polishing. Ah! I was stuck my finger. I think it's just called a chuck. Are you asking me? Things that you put in here are called chucks, I think. 4-jaw chuck. Yeah, you might be right. Who's that? Nera? That's the first time you've spoken, hasn't it? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you for hanging out. I'm doing a restream right now. It's my first time restreaming both to Twitch and YouTube, so I don't have as much information as I usually do. I used to have information on who is actually watching. Don't have it now, so if you don't say anything, I don't know you're here. Sorry. Alright, here we go. Second layer. Already dried. Sometimes I think the activator, they just sell it, is bullshit because this stuff dries so fast. But I have it, so whatever. We're going to do one more layer of this. No, it doesn't. Actually, you know what? It has a 1x10, I think. And people complain about that. I think. I have to look it up. But people complain about that because you can't put shit on this. Sorry, you can't put anything on this. I would have to check, though. I do know that it's not like a standard one. It's like some weird off-the-wall. Whatever. Okay, we're almost done. That's all the glue we're going to be putting on that. Hit it with the activator again. And put the activator away. Slow this down, make sure it's good to go. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. This is going to turn out pretty well. 4-jaw chuck, scroll chuck, etc. Don't know the difference, but that sounds right. Doughboy in here for the win again. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. The 4-jaw is the one I think I'm talking about. An adapter. Yeah, I've heard you have to have an adapter. All right, so we're just going to do this one. This is a very abrasive. So these are the micro mesh pads. Keep them in water. This is the most abrasive of the micro mesh pads. The yellow is what you start with. And this is just to kind of break down those really heavy imperfections. So if it feels smooth, doesn't really need it. Might need it a little bit more on that one. We can flip this over and start with the next highest, which is green. Doesn't need much. These 2 pads take quite a bit off, and that's not something we want to do. Feels good. Both of them feel pretty good. All right. Next is orange, which unfortunately fell off the mesh pad, or fell off the pad, but whatever, it works. Hit it with the orange. Next, this is when we start kind of giving it a little bit of a polish. Yeah, me too, man. I got so much walnut. Dude, I have so much walnut upstairs. I don't know what to do with it. I bought two 12-foot walnut slabs, like I was going to build a table or something. Okay, this is gonna be my last pen. I'm getting some phone calls that I need to address here in a little bit. Okay, so here we got purple. Boom, that's the next one. So the whole idea of this is we're gonna go through all these different pads, raising the grit to a very fine grit, which is going to polish that CA finish to a glass-like, almost wet-looking finish. So personally, what I look for is after I'm done, there's a little bit of water on there. Is I look to see whether when I dry off the blank or when I dry off the pen here, if it still looks like it's wet. If it still looks like it's wet, that's a win in my book. It's nice and glossy. If I wipe it off and I see it change, I might reconsider maybe reattacking it or something like that. So now we're going down to almost the second to finest grit here. This is just giving it a... I would need to give you perms for the links. Give me just a moment, Doughboy, and I'll give you perms for the links. 1 moment. Otherwise, Nightbot will flip out. Is Spark here? No, never mind. I don't have any mods that aren't bots. All right, last micro mesh. Yeah, we'll hang out here for a minute. I'll give you links. Just give me a second. But we'll hang out here for a minute after I'm done putting the pen together and assembling, and we'll check out all the links and stuff you guys got. Any suggestions you have, I'm more than welcome. Actually, I'm eager to see what you have to show me. Your first, hell yeah, dude, share that for sure. If you want to share it on Instagram and just tag my hashtag, which is JWWICT, or put the Discord command in this chat, which is !Discord, if that's something you're into, if you use Discord. You can join the Discord server and share what's going on there too. You're more than welcome to do that, but I will give you perms in just a moment. Alright, so here's the moment of truth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dry... Okay, I'm going to take this dry towel, wipe this down, and hopefully there's no change. Alright, so it was wet. I'm not joking with you guys. I'm not joshing you. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this to be nice and shiny. That's exactly what I want. Now I'm going to warn you, hell yeah. Not many people are in it yet. It's still a young server. So if you're in there, don't be tripped out if there's nobody else there with you. But I'm in there, so you can share with me. I have a different name in there though. I just realized. Alright, I think. There we go. Boom. We're all done with that. That grain looks fantastic. I'll give you guys a close-up shot here in just a moment. Let me put my micro meshes away. And I'm going to have to use this surface as an assembly surface, so excuse me for a minute while I turn on the shop vac. This might be loud. Oh, shop vac coming on. Let's see, join the Discord server. Okay, cool, good, you found that. Now, let me see. Wow, there's a lot of people in here. Okay, alright, I'm cool with that. Let's see if I can give you perms. Dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's, I'll give you those perms here in just a little bit. Let me finish the pen. All right, so we're going to pull this pen off. That's exactly what these are not supposed to do. Hopefully it doesn't take a finish off. Okay, good. It's all good. We'll have to sand that down a little bit. But other than that, it's fine. Dang, this one's stuck too. There we go. Got that one off. You doing things in Discord? I'm getting buzzes on my phone. All right, let me clean these off real quick with. Ah, jeez, I just dropped it. All right. That's okay. All I'm doing is taking this excess CA finish off. That kind of got stuck to the bushing. Okay, we're good. Let me move this back. Okay. Get this out of the way. Roger that. Sounds good. See you there. Oh yeah, all over the place. I try to stay consistent with this one because, you know, I try to get a following of people on Instagram and stuff. So I do my best to stay consistent, but sometimes it just can't happen. No big deal. All right, so we're gonna get a pen kit. This one, what do you guys think? I'm actually gonna let you choose because I have two different colors we can choose from. We have a gunmetal and we have gold. Is this an executive? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's see. I'll pull out the nibs. I'll pull out the nibs real quick and just kind of line them up, and we'll see. We'll take a vote real quick on which one you guys think looks best. All these, God, they have so many Ziploc bags. My goodness. My goodness. Okay, here we go. All right, what do you guys think? So, gold, obviously. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Gold, gunmetal. Which one do you guys think looks better? I'll give it a minute. You like the gunmetal? Actually, you know what? I think I already have. Oh, no, don't. Never mind. Can't go wrong with either. Fair enough. All right. Looks like it's going to be gunmetal. Yeah, I agree. The gold does blend pretty well. You know what? We'll do gunmetal this time, and next time, because I have more blanks for this, next time we'll do the gold. That's the beauty of it, huh? Is that a red pen? Oh my gosh! If I ordered red pens, oh no, it's not. Oh, I'd be pissed. Okay, so for those of you who haven't put one of these together before, here we go. Wow. What's going on upstairs? Somebody's running around. Look at the pick first? Okay, hang on. Which one is it? Is it this one? That looks... The first one, I don't think is it. I like those Joker pens, dude. That's pretty cool. Check that out. Can you guys see that on here? Check out those Joker pens. It's a Harley Quinn pen and a Joker pen with a green top. That's awesome. Here's some other two. I don't see... Maybe, are you talking about this one right here? This one has a walnut pen sitting next to one with gold hardware, which I think would look good. We'll do both. Don't worry, friends, we'll do both. I like those. Those are pretty impressive. I really like that Joker one, dude. That one's pretty cool. Okay. Get out. Oh, is that right? Okay, I see. All right, so here's my parallel clamp. I use this as a pen press. Call it Thor's hammer. First thing we're going to do is add the nib. Let's see, which side do I want to be the bottom? This one. So we'll take the nib here, smash that together. Ricker. Oh gosh. Stay straight. Stay straight. Oh god. I don't want to bend that in and jack it all up. There we go. Where do you get your supplies from? That Etsy one is not supposed to be on there. But that's my Etsy page if you're interested. Etsy page if you're interested. This Nightbot thing's a nightmare sometimes. Okay, so now I'm adding or putting in the twist mechanism down to the ring. There we go.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Fitz. Am I saying that right? Fitz, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that, man. I'm really enjoying the stream, man. There's a lot of people here, and I really like talking to you guys, so thanks for being here. I appreciate that. But anyway, here is that's the twist mechanism. Make sure the twist mechanism is in. It's actually in a little bit too far. Oh no, that's because I still have the protective cover on it. There we go. Okay, no, it's good. Right? Yep, it's good. Twist mechanism test. All the way out, all the way in. It's actually a little. It's like right on the brink. I might have put it in just a itty bitty bit, like a 64th too far, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, so over this we'll put the decorative ring. Boom. Next we'll ignore that side and add the clip and the clip. What was it called? Clip retainer. I always like hearing Michael Scott. I love that show, man. That's such a funny show. Like I don't know how he didn't win. Maybe he did, but did he win any awards for that show? Because he should have. He would make me feel so embarrassed for him. I'd have to pause the video. And you know what? He's doing a good job if that's what he does. If he makes me feel like that, you know. Put this away. We're done with that. Okay, back end's complete. Oops, sorry. Do I watch Scott's Tots? I can't say I do. I don't know what that is. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. What is Scott's Tots? Okay, there we go. Assembled pen. What do you guys think of that gunmetal? I think it looks pretty cool. Dark on dark, black on black, right? So it's like a black on black Escalade, right? Not too bad. Oops. And it works. And it writes, hopefully. Yep. Good. So we'll add that to the Etsy store. I like it. We'll have 6 pens total on the Etsy store here shortly, hopefully. I only have 4 on there right now. It took me forever to get good pictures of them. I had to set up a whole light box and everything. That was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me move the scene over. Ah! Okay. Get this out of the way. What do we got? What do we got? That self-balancing wide holder is sick. Thank you. I appreciate that. They're both awesome, but the alcohol-based one leaked a bit past the tape when I was coloring, so I had to sand through. You know what? I've never colored. Were you stabilizing wood, or was that a... I couldn't tell. Was that like a wood stabilizer, or was that... Or like stabilized wood? It is stabilized wood, isn't it? That's awesome, dude. You can't even tell. But you know what? I've noticed that usually the creator of whatever you're making, usually the creator is the most critical of their work. And that's okay. I think that's okay, but there comes a point where you're going to have to let minor flaws go. And I have a real hard time with that. Even that one we just made, there's things I don't like about it. I just don't say it. I get my pen kits from everywhere. A lot from Penn State. I get my dies from Amazon and some local hobby places. Awesome, dude. That's cool. I use Woodturner's catalog, which is also Craft Supplies USA, I think. Same thing, but they have cheap prices. Their slim lines are the cheapest I can find, which are the ones we're doing right now. It's an episode of The Office that a lot of people can't watch because it's pretty hard to get through. What's it called? You said it was Scott's Tots. I'll have to look that up. Those are just straight dye on regular maple, non-stabilized. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. I like that dark on dark. I find that mostly males like the dark dye, or typically the lighter colors seem to favor the female market. Awesome. That's good to know. I haven't sold any yet. I've just given a lot away as gifts. I get most, when I post on Instagram, the most likes and whatevers that I get, good things, comments and stuff, are always on acrylics, dude. Everybody loves acrylics. All right, let's see. Let's put the tools away. So this weekend, maybe. It kind of depends on how things go. But this weekend I might have a buddy of mine coming over who purchased, I purchased, but he's going to be purchasing some pens from me. He bought, from Penn State Industries, he bought the kit for, which kits did he buy? He bought the piano kit, or like the music kit, and he bought the fly fishing kit, which looks interesting. He also got one of those oak barrel blanks, the whiskey barrel blanks by Jack Daniels. So we're going to be doing that this weekend, and if he's cool with it, I'm going to stream it. So if you guys followed, or you don't follow on this, do you? Yeah, you do. You follow on Twitch, right? So if you guys followed, hit that notification button. Next time I come online, you guys can check that out. I think that's going to be a pretty special one. It's gifts for his parents. So as long as everything works out, that should be pretty fun. But until then, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming by. I had a great time. This is a lot of fun for me. I just like doing this for you guys and sharing experiences. That's what I like the most. I like seeing what you guys make. Yeah, fly fishing kit, yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. It's got like a panoramic of a dude fly fishing around the clip. It's pretty awesome. I have them upstairs. They just came in today. So I'll show that to you guys later. Maybe I'll Instagram it. Yeah, it is interesting. It takes 2 different size drill bits, so I had to buy new drill bits and stuff, which sucks. Or maybe that's the piano one that takes the 2, or the music one that takes the 2 drill bits. I'm not sure. but I had to buy 3 new drill bits, man. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming by. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun, and I really hope to see you guys again. But until then, you guys have a great weekend, a safe weekend. Like I said, I really hope to see you guys again down in the basement. So from Kansas, out here in Kansas, I appreciate you guys coming by, signing off. And again, just take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. See you later.